Meeting to order. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Twenty-one supervisors are present. Supervisors Wambolt and Caro are excused.
Okay, also present is Mary Tango from Human Services and Sona Hawkins also from Human Services. Welcome. Okay, we start tonight's meeting with the presentation of the 2024 Kenosha County budget by County Executive Kerkman. County Executive.
Everybody tonight. Good evening. Good evening, Chairman Nudo, Vice Chair Decker, members of the County Board, and distinguished guests. It is my honor to be here tonight to present you with my 2024 budget. And it's my pleasure to tell you that once again, we're a AAA county. I know you've been aware of this for some time, but I think it's something worth celebrating. This year's bond rating process went a little different than usual. Instead of sending our finance team to Chicago to S&P, they came to us. We gave them a tour that highlighted our economic development accomplishments to date and the tremendous potential that lies ahead. And as our renewed AAA rating shows, we didn't disappoint. We held our meeting at Haribo in a beautiful new facility where they're turning out gummy bears by the million. And we boarded them a bus to give them a first-hand look at our county's remarkable economic transformation. We saw the tremendous growth that Uline continues to make up and down the corridor, along with Amazon, Nexus Pharmaceutical, Kroger, LMI Packaging, and the Pritzker Military Archives, and more companies and developments than I have time to name. Kudos to our finance team, Patty, Barna, and Matt, for the work they've done to continue the success in our county. And to Chairman Rose and the Finance Committee for their careful oversight. And to our economic development partner at CABA and their new leader, Nicole Riff, for working closely with us. The bond rating tour was a look at the great things that we have done as a county. And now I'm looking to where we go next to sustain and enhance the momentum Kenosha County has enjoyed for several years. In addition to the AAA path, the budget before you tonight enhances our commitment to public safety. Working closely with Sheriff Dave Zorner, we're broadening our vision so we can reallocate and redeploy and enhance crime-fighting efforts. Last year, this board made significant investments in our resources in the Sheriff's Department. And a year later, those resources are fully deployed and they're already paying dividends. The detective positions that you supported enhanced our drug unit and have provided for night staffing in our detective bureau, something that hasn't existed in 20 years. We know the need to investigate sensitive crimes in a timely fashion doesn't stop at the end of the business day. And the budget before you tonight adds an additional detective in the K-Dog unit. The data analyst that was added last year, something new in our Sheriff's Department, has provided her first detailed report for our sworn personnel. She's doing exactly what we thought she'd do and more. Looking ahead to the 2024 budget, the budget before you shifts our vision to detentions, where some staffing investments will help improve our culture for our hardworking correctional staff. This will have a ripple-down effect to boost the efforts of our sworn officers fighting crime on the streets. Earlier this year, we converted a sworn lieutenant position to a civilian administrator. And now we're adding an additional civilian administrator in the form of an additional FTE. The lieutenant that was doing that work will become responsible for managing our operation plan throughout the year for major events like Country Thunder, the County Fair, and other festivals. Meantime, the joint services budget, that's a component of our county, as a digital evidence technician position, a dedicated person to managing digital evidence such as body cam footage. For the Sheriff's Department, this frees up a sworn sergeant who's been handling that duty, getting that supervisor back to supervisor duties, not managing evidence. There are other detentions enhancements that you will see as you dive deeper in tonight's budget. In short, by enhancing the detentions division, we're able to redeploy sworn positions to their duties. We will optimize the sergeants who need to be out there leading deputies, managing scenes, and working to make our county safer. It's a force multiplier. The law enforcement budget also includes an innovative solution to a recruitment need. This budget provides a relatively modest sum to launch a paid internship program. This would give potential recruits in the department an overview while they attend the law enforcement academy. And for those who thrive in the program, it would give us the opportunity to hire them first before they seek opportunities elsewhere. It's a win-win for students and for the county. And along the lines of public safety, Supervisor Stock, I'm pleased to report that the budget includes replacing the 60th Street tornado siren that your constituents have been asking for. Also, in joint services, the county enjoys a productive relationship with the city, and we're applying for grant funding to keep the needed upgrade for our 911 center off the tax levy. Thank you, Supervisor Uhas, for your leadership on the Joint Services Board. And in the District Attorney's Office, I'm pleased to report we're funding 2 permanent positions to serve as support staff to the 2 additional DAs that we were successful in receiving in the state budget. Thank you to Supervisor Nedweski and the rest of our local legislative delegation for your help with that. We really appreciate that. And along with crime prevention and public safety, we're also continuing to focus on our human services. The prevention specialist educator position now in place with Levi Stevenson in that role. Levi will be working with our schools to implement strategies to stop substance abuse before it starts in our youth in Kenosha County. Sadly, the opioid crisis has not abated. Our Kenosha County Behavioral Health and Public Health continue working together with law enforcement to stem this crisis. Human Services was also again on the go this year. At our neighborhood events and our county fair, staff interacted with hundreds of people. At the county fair alone, nearly 250 people were trained in the use of Narcan. Thank you, Carrie. And now, Human Services will be on the move. Last week, we broke ground in our new Human Services building, and now we're watching an innovative public-private partnership come to fruition. And if all goes as planned, staff will be in the building by mid-year 2025, providing services that people can count on in the heart of our community. Thank you to this board, in particular Chairman Stock, former Chairperson Belsky, and the Human Services Committee, and Chairman Nordigan, and former Chairperson Grady, and the Public Works Committee for providing leadership that brought us where we are today with this landmark project. Thank you. At Brookside, we had serious financial challenges on our hands. And this board took the steps necessary to shore up the staffing issues that have left too many beds empty since the pandemic. Through the adoption of the class and comp recommendations, you brought Brookside and all the county where it needs to be to retain high-quality employees, to be that employer of choice. And now we're filling those vacant beds and looking to bring Brookside's back into the black. I must mention Brookside's recent perfect review from the state. Front page news last week, continuing that perfect streak that began in April of 2022. Chairman Nudo, Supervisor O'Day, thank you for your leadership as members of the Board of Trustees. Along the lines with Brookside's past staffing shortages, we faced another significant challenge this year. With Humana's decision to exit the employer group health insurance market next year, we had some work to do figuring out how to replace our employee health insurance program with the least amount of disruption possible. And tonight, I'm pleased to report that our insurance outlook for our employees and the fiscal outlook for our county is bright. This is a win-win for our employees and for our finances. Another win for our finances came in our state budget. Thank you to the work of Governor Evers and legislators on both sides of the aisle. Counties and municipalities are receiving an overdue boost in shared revenue from the state. This is a positive effect that is reflected in our budget before you tonight. Kenosha County is receiving nearly $1.3 million in additional revenue. Many thanks go out to Representative Nedwesky and everyone in the Kenosha County delegation who supported this significant state investment. So we've continued to make those necessary strategic investments in our infrastructure, including the reconstruction of Highway EM on the east side of Twin Lakes. Thank you to Supervisor Carroll, I know he's not here, for your involvement with this partnership with the Village of Twin Lakes. As a result, we now have a safer, smoother roadway and stormwater improvements the village had been asking for. We completed the roundabout at Highway A and Y in Summers, making for a safer intersection. I know Supervisor Geertsen and his neighbors appreciate that. And we completed Phase 1 of Highway K expansion west of Indian Trail, enhancing traffic capacity in a key corridor. Thank you, Supervisor Franco, for your patience and that of your constituents during this process. That one was a tough one. And in the budget before you tonight, we're focusing on maintaining and improving our infrastructure. This budget keeps up with our long-time program of repaving at least 13 miles of county trunk roads each year. We're also making investments in other aspects of infrastructure, including access to high-speed internet service. Earlier this year, I convened the Broadband Advisory Committee, and I'm excited to report that the work is already making a difference. Recently, I concurred with the committee's recommendation to allocate ARPA dollars to bring high-speed wireless service to the Kemper Center, Old Settler, and Silver Lake Parks, further building out our parks Wi-Fi infrastructure and providing security camera systems that will help protect the public as well as our park assets. I look forward to more good work coming out of this committee in the months to come, and I'm looking forward to working with Savannah Myers, our recently hired community development educator, who will help us coordinate the county's broadband strategy going forward. The cover of your budget book shows one of my favorite projects that the county has completed this year, and one that shows what we can accomplish when we work together. Old Settlers Band Shelter, the vision of the late Heidi Schursat. She and others started Old Settlers Oktoberfest in 2011. They, working together, the county, the village of Paddock Lake, and with the community members who raised funds for this project. And this year, we made it a reality. Thank you, Supervisor Poole, for your support. I know the community appreciates it. Thank you. I've made it a priority to work with you, the county board, to drive where the county is headed. Earlier this year, we got together at the Job Center for our first ever budget vision session. And last month, we met at Brookside for a preview of the CIP that's in your budget book tonight. In recent weeks, I met with Chairman Noodle and the chairs of many of the board standing committees to share some of the challenges and hear your concerns before the ink dried on this budget. Now the budget is in your hands, and I look forward to working with you in the coming weeks. The budget is fiscally responsible and one that puts us in a position to continue our AAA momentum. This proposal comes to you with a 2.95% levy increase, which happens to be the same percentage the county's equalized value increased this year. Of that 2.95%, a little over 2% is due to the class and comp changes. Under this budget, The owner of a median family home in Kenosha County will pay $1.81 more to support county government and the essential services that the team provided. That's a 0.21% increase. I encourage you to support this budget. We have really done a great deal of work together, and I look forward to continuing to work with you in 2024 and beyond. May God bless America. May God bless Kenosha County. Thank you, and good night.
We'll wait until they're done.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I like the paper.
Yeah.
No, it seems like waste, but there's a lot to consider. And it's a lot to,
That's what
you
I'll
know,
go by.
you can mark it.
Yeah.
I guess you probably do it electronically. I just don't.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not a,
Seems like more work for me to learn.
I'm not an electronic person. Okay. Okay. I think we're okay. Okay, citizen comments. Any citizen wish to speak? Please state your name and address.
22 24th Avenue from District 8. Yeah, sure, I get to follow that. I'm sorry I didn't bring anybody books, but I think next time I could bring stickers. You guys want Canvas stickers? Okay, well, I'll bring stickers next time. The first time I came and talked in front of you, I promised you that we had kids riding our trails, and I came through. I brought you kids last time. Also, I promised we have trail builders. I tried to get trail builders to come with me tonight, but they all managed to give me doctor's notes saying that they are allergic to politics, so they're not here. But if anybody's looking for any recommendations for an allergist, I guess this paper says Dr. Feelgood. Apparently Dr. Feelgood is a really good allergist here in town. At least that's who did all of their allergy doctor's notes. So tonight we're going to talk about moving in from phase, we're done with phase 1, we had the grand opening, we're moving through phase 2 into phase 3 of building trails. And tonight we're going to call this quality over quantity, or buy once, cry once, or slow but steady. So a little bit of the way that the trail builders think when we're building trails. They're going out, they're building big things, tables, gaps, all kinds of things. But when they know, but they're also testing it all at the same time. And usually one of the trail builders brings along one of his 12-year-old son. He rolls through everything. We make sure everything's good. Royal we. We've talked about that before. They make sure that they can find the right speed to roll through so that you make it through rather safely. They roll through to see what happens if you go too slowly. They go through to see what happens if you go too fast. But they test it, they tweak things, and they test it, and they're comfortable. Once something is built, they're going to be pretty comfortable with it after a couple, 3 days, maybe a week. Maybe they go back and tweak something. But that process for them, regardless of how large the features seem and how dangerous it might seem, they are confident and comfortable with all of it after a week, maybe 2 weeks of riding on it. So from their point of view, it's successful when they can clear it and the kids can clear it with them. And from your point of view, you probably see it more of as a success when 1,000 people go through, or 2,000 or 5,000 people go through. But I just want you to know that they're working behind the scenes, they're comfortable, they're confident in what they do, and they're getting better and better as they go along, and getting faster and faster at it. So with that in mind, this is this is how we sort of feel about the philosophy of how we're going to take building going forward, and we would like to, from our point of view, we would like to go slowly but surely. We would prefer quality over quantity. In the next sections, there are going to be more trails that are with bigger features, scarier to people standing next to them, scarier to people like me who have limited skills. But we would rather finish them all right away when we're in an area. First off, because it's a construction zone. If we go through and make a rudimentary green trail or a blue trail and then have to come back through, that's twice that park users are going to see construction equipment. I thought they were done with that. How come the traffic cones are back up? We don't have traffic cones. I was just referring to Highway 50. Okay, good. So we would rather go through, make the black diamond trails that we need to, or the blue/black trails that we need to, and be done. And that way, the forestry grows over there, and the trails bed in, and you don't know that we were there. Also, the big focusing on the larger, more fun. Riskier, yes, but with risk comes reward. It draws attention from other mountain bikers, and with that attention, we bring in their dollars. So that means we're going to be able to fundraise faster, which means we'll be able to finish up faster. So while you're out there, just know that if you see large features popping up here and there inside Petrifying Springs, just know you can have confidence in how we're building it, and that yes, the big things are going to appear quickly, but also they've been tested. It's going to be wonderful, and by focusing on quality over quantity, we'll be able to build once and cry once. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen wish to speak? Any other citizen wish to speak? Any other citizen wish to speak? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. Okay, just a couple things. Just a reminder for the supervisors that attend the WCA. If you wish to receive reimbursement, please make sure that you turn your papers in to the county clerk. Also, last Monday we had the Board of Trustees meeting at Brookside, and it was reported that the census was 131 for Brookside and 24 full capacity at Willowbrook. So we're really making huge improvements, especially when we see we had at the 128 projected, so now we surpassed that. So hopefully we're going to stay there or get it even better. Okay, supervisor reports. Let's see. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On September 20th, the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee received an email from our committee secretary stating that the budget hearing for our committee was going to be held on October 10th, because that was the day, the only day all month that our chairman was available.
Okay, Supervisor Rodriguez, we're not going to go through this again. It's not a report.
I'm reporting on the business of the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee.
I'm sorry?
I'm reporting on the business before the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee.
You're going to be reporting, you did report on the Executive Committee and going through what happened, what's going on, or whatever. We're not going to do it at this point.
So are you ruling that I'm out of order?
Yes.
well, then I would make a motion to overrule the chair.
Okay. Already, I believe it requires a second, right? Okay. Okay. We have a motion and a second, moved by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by Supervisors Vesky. And I think this can be debated, right? No debate. It takes 2/3 vote, majority, okay? Thank you.
Is there any limitation on what a supervisor can say during this supervisor report?
Out of order or not? Rather than vote on the motion, just tell us whether or not there's any limits and whether or not this violates limits.
Well, first of all, Supervisor Rose, I'd point out that the chair has made a ruling. So regardless of what I say, the chair has made a ruling. There's now been a motion that has been properly seconded to appeal that ruling and essentially overturn it. So a vote yes, a vote to appeal the ruling of the chair would allow Supervisor Rodriguez to proceed. The rules on supervisor reports indicates that the item is intended to allow for committee reports by committee chairs, routine announcements, and matters that a supervisor would like referred to a committee or department. So that is what the rule says.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to vote yes would be?
A vote yes would be to appeal
No.
No would be to sustain it.
To sustain it. Okay. Is it a roll call vote? Roll call? Yes will be to overrule it.
Yes is to overrule. No is to sustain.
The motion to overrule has passed, 13 yes, 8 no.
Okay. Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't know where I left off, so I'm going to start over.
That's fine.
On September 20th, the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee received an email from our committee secretary stating that our budget hearing was going to be on October 10th because the chairman had indicated that was the only day he was free. Soon after this communication was sent out, a majority of the committee indicated via email or over the phone that they were not available to meet on that date, and there would not be a quorum. That same day, I reached out to our committee secretary and told her I was unavailable that day, as I had previously indicated to the committee chair and the county board chair. The reason, though I don't feel I need to share it publicly, but I will, was I will be having, a week from tonight, a pretty invasive procedure that will require my extended stay in the hospital. Then, on September 26th, notice was given that the meeting had been moved to the next day, October 11th, at the same time as the PDEC meeting. Chairman Bashaw indicated during his email that he may ask PDEC to consider moving their meeting to an earlier time that day. Further, Chairman Bashaw stated that this was a day that a quorum of supervisors could be present, October 11th. This is strange for a few reasons. First of all, Supervisors Bashaw and Franco both serve on Judiciary and Law and on PDEC. This would prevent them from being able to attend that meeting. They have to choose one or the other. Additionally, both earlier this year sponsored a rule change that would prohibit an earlier than 6 p.m. meeting, something Supervisor Bashaw indicated he would ask for. This day and time, like I said, prohibits Supervisor Bashaw and Franco from being able to vote on their PDEC budget, as well as preventing other supervisors and members of the public from attending, as is common practice for members of this body and the public alike. In Supervisor Bashaw's email, he claimed that October 11th date was a date or a quorum could be present. As I stated earlier, this is not true, as 4 of the 7 committee members cannot attend that date. After this email, a member of the committee, Supervisor Nordigan, reached out to Supervisor Bashaw as well as the entire committee, and he stated, quote, "I believe it will be in the best interest of the supervisors, Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, and the county board to work out another date," end quote. Supervisor Bashaw may have responded to Supervisor Nordigan, I'm not sure, but he did not respond to the committee. The next day, on September 27th, Supervisor Belsky sent an additional email indicating that she spoke with Supervisors Franco, Nordigan, Decker, and myself, and that a potential date of October 19th was one that we were all available, and it did not conflict with any other committees or their regularly scheduled budget hearings. Supervisor Bashaw did not respond until yesterday, and in his response he stated, quote, "The timing is not convenient, the decision was made, and impacts have been adapted to, end quote. That while the 19th date worked for 6 of the 7 committee members, it didn't work for himself. Supervisor Bashaw further indicated, and I didn't realize this until I was rereading emails tonight before the meeting, but he indicated in that email that if him not chairing the meeting was warranted, it would, quote, certainly open more days for availability, end quote. In my now 6 years on this county board, this is the very first time that I know of that a budget hearing date was set for a committee without consulting members of that committee. And most certainly, it's the first I know of where a committee has met knowing there would not be a quorum, let alone planning to meet without a quorum to discuss and vote on their respective budget. This isn't about who's chairing the committee. This is about having a quorum or having as many members of the committee present as possible. I'm humbly requesting to Chairman Bashaw that he consider changing this meeting to the 19th or another applicable date where a majority of supervisors can attend. Again, it's not about who chairs this. If Supervisor Bashaw can't be there, I'll let the next person. We have a second vice chair. It's not about me wanting it or anybody wanting it. It's about making sure our committee members are there so that the constituents we represent are represented in the budget hearing, and making sure that if we're going to meet to consider spending millions and millions of dollars, that we have a quorum to cast the votes on that budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Summer has passed, autumn is well underway, and our Milwaukee Brewers in the playoffs. Do you have an update for us, Supervisor Decker? Where are we at?
Where we at? 4-3 Arizona.
Oh, we'll see if we can improve upon that. At any rate, this is the time of the year when county board supervisors often consider running for office or filing non-candidacy papers. I have been thinking about this over the spring and summer, and I've been largely non-committal in my responses to fellow supervisors, to my family, to colleagues. I would just say I'd be weighing all options. But I will tell you, tonight, I prefer to announce that I will be circulating nomination papers later this year and running for office this spring. That's my announcement. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Belsky.
I just want to say that I concur with everything that Supervisor Rodriguez stated, and I would ask that our Chair of Judiciary and Law please reconsider so that we do not have to meet with department heads one-on-one, and so that we can do it as a whole committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Nordigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Public Works met last week, and just a few items that are not, that were updated from the reports that were sent out. I think everybody knows Highway 75 at Highway 50 is closed in Paddock Lake. It's supposed to be for 3 weeks beginning on the 21st of September. Of course, weather can always affect that. So, and there are DOT has published get-around guides on their website you can look up. The Kenosha County Veterans Memorial Park Restroom Memorial Shelter have been substantially completed with just a punch list of items remaining. An RFP for Old Settlers Park Permanent Beer Garden has been advertised and responses are due in mid-October. South Branch Pike River, the USA 60% design has been delayed until it was later in September. It may be up to date by now. I don't have it up to date on that. KCC backup generator, the PO was issued, it was a little bit higher than budget by about $5,000. That's within the 15% that we're given to be within. It is a 1-year order though, so it's not like it's going to be here tomorrow or next week. So that will be a 2024 project, maybe. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. There's a resolution in Wheatland that I think Supervisor Decker would be interested in. They're doing a speed study on Highway O between F and 50. And it's going to be like 2 months for that speed study. And I guess they're going to be looking to want to lower the speed limit in that area to, I think, 35 all the way. So I think that's the idea, just so you know. And then there's flagging going on at County Highway U, County Highway C. They're putting in a right turn lane to turn into the north side of Highway U for all the new industrial buildings that are going up there. I believe they'll probably be doing the same thing for a left-hand turn lane coming in from the west, or going to the west from the east. Golf's been doing very well, 98,000 rounds. We're outpacing the 2022. Irrigation has started on the Red Pines. It's a little ahead of schedule. Again, it is subject to change based on weather. The public safety building generator went out and it failed. They put temporary generators up for about 4 weeks. I got an email today. Everything's all up and running, so we're back up and going. We had a few resolutions. I don't know if they're on this one or not. We passed a few of the resolutions for tax delinquent property, and the like. And at the beginning of the meeting, we had Interim Chancellor Scott Menke from University of Wisconsin Parkside in. A lot of questions, a lot of information that we shared. Long story short, they're exceedingly happy with the IGA that Kenosha County has with UW Parkside, as well as the performance of such IGA. So much so that he said he is not hearing any complaints from the instructors and professors that he usually hears complaints from. And he's not hearing any. So he thinks everyone's doing a great job. He's very well aware of what's going on out there. A letter was drafted on September 21st in support of the relationship with what's going on. Everything has been going and happening. I do have copies. I don't know if we've gotten one up to the clerk's office yet, but it was signed by County Executive Kerkman, former County Executive Jim Cruiser, UW Parkside Interim Chancellor Scott Menke, and myself. And it's in support of continuing and moving along with the plan that we have in place. And if there is any issue or any concern at any time, it will be handled if it's a complaint by us or a complaint by them. So it's not swinging in the breeze, if you will. We are very attentive, and they are very happy, as we are, with the relationship we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On this Saturday, October 7th, from noon to 4, I will be holding a food drive at 3905 31st Avenue. The donations will be benefiting Grace Welcome Center, and the items they are in need of are jelly, hamburger meat, canned tuna, canned chicken, beef stew, soup, mayo, mac and cheese, spaghetti sauce, pasta, rice, and toilet paper. Again, Saturday, noon to 4. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Geschke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to make the board aware of 3 updates from District 7. There's exciting things happening in District 7. First of all, the Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood. Last night, the City of Kenosha's Common Council approved a $22 million contract with Racine-based Oaks, I believe, contractors to begin putting in the infrastructure into this area, things like roadways, water mains, sewers, electrical, so on and so forth. And that work is expected to begin later this month, and it'll last over the next year or so. In addition to that, the first major development on the site, the Lakeview Tech High School, will also begin as soon as next month, and so that's an exciting development there. Ultimately, this is going to be a $1 billion project on the former Chrysler site. It'll be a mixed-use area for incubation and offices, medical, educational, commercial, residential, and recreational space. So again, that site has been in the works for a long time, and now just over the next few weeks, we're going to begin to see shovels in the ground. Secondly, I think you all are aware, if you received the email, that tomorrow is a tour of the Uptown Lofts. That is the new development that is has been being built on the west side of 22nd Avenue. There are 3 commercial spaces on the ground floor for a restaurant, for a grocery store, and for a new children's library. And then the remaining upper floors will be for residential units. And so if you're interested in seeing the progress on that, check your email for details on touring that tomorrow morning. And then finally, just a block or so from here in the Kenosha Metro station, the train station, is a new restaurant has come in, Blast from the Past Pizza. And next Friday, October 13th, there will be a ribbon cutting and a grand reopening. This is a business that has moved from Silver Lake and is investing here in our downtown Kenosha area. My family and I, a couple of weeks ago, enjoyed reliving my 1980s childhood there. This is a blast from the past 80s themed pizzeria, and so I would encourage you to consider coming to the grand reopening and the ribbon cutting, and certainly encourage you to support this local business in the 7th District. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose.
I have nothing.
Supervisor Stuck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to call out a couple points from our September Human Services Committee meeting. We had a presentation from Brookside, and I believe the chair provided us with the latest census numbers. We were at 112. It sounds like now we're up to 134. They are very encouraged by the class and comp study that was passed. It has allowed them to retain more staff. We actually are having to advertise for people that are looking to stay at Brookside. There's forms on the website. If you call them, they will help you apply. They'll even come to you and help you fill out the form if necessary, if you are or know a loved one that is trying to receive care. A couple other changes that they made is they moved 24 of the 48 rehab beds. They moved from short-term to long-term care. This is going to bring a little bit more financial stability to Brookside. Allows us to house, opening up those beds is also going to allow us to bring more people in for longer stays at the Brookside facility. Another update that was given, good news for us, is the Medicaid rate went up, and we're now getting $361 per resident. Previously, we were losing money. We were getting under $200 from Medicaid to fund those beds. So whereas we were losing money on Medicaid beds, we are now breaking even on those. Our full capacity, full capacity for Brookside is 154 beds, and their goal is next year is to be very close to that, and obviously bring Brookside to the point where it is back to bringing profit back to the county, as we are still recovering from COVID a little bit. But overall, the outlook is very good. Bob Pitts was at our last presentation as well, and they're very encouraged with the class and comp study, and the changes that the board has made has been overall very good for Brookside. There will also be one other item is we do have the appointment of Supervisor Jeff Wambolt to the Racine Kenosha Community Action Agency Board that passed our committee as well, and will be on the agenda this evening. That's all.
Thank you. Any other supervisor wish to speak? Any other supervisor wish to speak? Seeing none, supervisor comments are closed.
County Executive Appointments, 22, John Coffey to serve on the Silver Lake Management District Board.
Refer to Planning and Development Committee.
New business, Resolution 58 from the Human Services Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Supervisor Jeffrey Wambolt to serve on the Racine Kenosha Community Action Agency Board.
Supervisor Stuck.
I'm sorry. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Stuck.
Move item number 58.
Moved by Supervisor Stock, second by Supervisor Stoker. Supervisor Stock.
Yes, as I stated earlier, this resolution is to appoint Supervisor Wambolt to the Racine Kenosha Community Action Agency Board. It did pass our committee unanimously, and I would encourage the board to support it this evening. Thank you.
Any supervisor comments? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Communications 42, communication from Supervisor Thomas, a resolution to create a risk assessment and management practices for Kenosha County.
Refer to Finance Committee.
43, communication from Vice Chair Decker, a resolution recognizing December 2023 as National Impaired Driving Prevention Month.
Refer to Executive Committee.
44, communication from Supervisor Nedweski, a resolution recognizing October 2023 as Italian Heritage Month in Kenosha County.
Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Nedweski.
Mr. Chairman, I move to suspend the rules to consider passage of this resolution tonight so that Italian American Heritage Month can be recognized by the County Board in October, the actual month in which it is officially celebrated nationally.
Okay. Moved by Supervisor Nedweski, second by Supervisor Gersten. This is non-debatable and it needs 2/3 vote.
The motion to suspend the rules passes unanimously.
Okay. Supervisor Nedweski.
So now I will move the resolution.
Moved by Supervisor Nedweski, second by Supervisor Gersten. Supervisor Nedweski. What's so funny?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What's so funny?
Last Friday morning, my son Glenn and I were having a discussion about his late grandfather, lifelong Kenosha businessman, Glenn Madrigrano Sr. Glenn III brought it to my attention that October is celebrated by many people across the country as National Italian American Heritage Month. First, I want to thank the chairman for his kind consideration to place this resolution on the agenda on short notice. And I also thank my colleagues for voting to suspend the rules so that we can address this tonight. This resolution would have presumably been referred to the executive committee, and we wouldn't have been able to get back to it until November. So thank you all. Kenosha County's rich history of culture, business, and progress is filled with the legends of many Italian immigrants who braved the trip to America to start a new life. Their families set up shop here, and many of those Italian American-owned local businesses are still here, operating under third, fourth, and, as in the case of the Madrigrano family, even fifth generation leadership. I think of my great-great-grandfather, Giovanni Perodotto, who arrived to Wisconsin at age 17 from Torino, Italy, with little more than the shirt on his back. Like many of the stories we have heard from our friends and neighbors around Kenosha County tell us over the years about their own grandparents. Stories of grit, hard work, struggle, survival, but also stories of hope, joy, faith, and happiness. Names like Tenuta, Cicchini, Montemuro, Aiello, Stella, Molinaro, if he's still here, Ruffalo, Storino, Infusino, Ventura, Savaglio, Tirabassi, Rascioli, Cardamone, Madrigrano, and of course, Nudo, are only a few among hundreds of Italian-American families who so strongly contributed to shaping the cultural landscape of Kenosha County. So in honor of our chairman and of the rich and widespread influence of Italian-American culture in Kenosha County, please join me in voting to pass this resolution to honor Italian-American Heritage Month in Kenosha County.
Thank you. Any supervisor comments? Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Claims 8, Chad Exner, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
The approval of the September 19th, 2023 minutes by Supervisor Gens.
Supervisor Gens.
Mr. Chairman, I move this come
Moved by Supervisor Gens, second by Supervisor Franco. Any discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Rodriguez, second by someone around here. John O'Day. All in favor? Oppose? We're adjourned.